Oh yeah, glasses on, aligners in. We're doing shoulders today, and this is a good one because I want to show you guys side delt, front delt, and rear delt. And like we were talking about before with our chest training, I was saying you don't need to do a ton of flies to build good pecs. You need some, but doing decline presses, flat presses, incline presses are going to build up a lot of pecs. For shoulders, it's almost the opposite, because we want to be able to target the rear delt, the side delt, and the front delt. If we just do tons of presses, we're just going to get really strong front delts, and then we're not going to have as much side and rear to really create that 3D effect we want. So what we're going to do today, start with our side delts, then go into rear delts, and by the end of it, go into presses to really finish it off. So 6 exercises for shoulders. This is gonna be a 45-minute workout. Let's get it pumped up. Yeah, this one's good for getting that mind-muscle connection here. And we're gonna hold one side. So isometric hold on the right side. So I can't let it drop down. I gotta hold it the whole time. And as I switch, then my left one takes that tension from the bottom to the top. So still full range in, full range out. Yeah, one of the biggest tips with this one too is what a lot of people do with this one is they try to shove their shoulders down and keep their shoulders locked down. But it actually helps if you think about just letting my shoulder come up a little bit as I come out. And it's just gonna allow your shoulder to have that range of motion to actually come out wide, as opposed to shoving it down, and it feels like I get stuck, and then I might have to maybe rotate my arm, which this is not letting me rotate my arm, so I have to keep my arm and my forearm and my wrist in line with it as it goes. So for this machine, it's gonna help if I lift my shoulder, think lift up and out, as opposed to down and across, and I find I can get a lot more of that side delt. Doesn't put stress on my elbow or wrist. And then also with this machine too is I'm trying to actually shove the handles inwards. And as I'm doing that, I'm also getting a little bit of that anterior side delt as well. So shoving in, lifting up, out to the side. All right, so there's a little bit of an up to out. It's not down and out. I have no range if I go down and out. I can do partials down and out. But for here, shove forward, up, out. Almost. This is where you can add in some partials. We're gonna do 21s. So 7 reps from the bottom, 7 reps from the top, 7 reps full. So the difference here, this machine, you're gonna be able to lift a lot more weight with this machine because you're pretty much only getting half that lever length or half that momentum arm. Instead of the tension being way out here now, it's like half the distance. Plus I don't have to worry so much about what my hand is doing. But again, one thing that I do wanna do on this machine, use this chest pad, use my legs, shove my shoulders into the pad the whole time. Not so much with my hands, but with my actual front delts. So I'm gonna think, I'm not just back here off this pad. I actually wanna shove myself forward through this pad. And we're gonna do 21, so bottom will be really easy. Full. So you can do that. 65 pounds feels a lot heavier. Again, because I could just work my way up the whole stack, but it's a short range of motion also. So I really want to find where it's actually providing my shoulders with tension and keep it there rather than just thinking up and down, up and down. So that's a really good way of just getting more mind-muscle connection. Even if it just seems like a very simple movement, we can make it more effective this way. I find that really helps, is just thinking I gotta get my shoulders to really open up and close in front of me. And as I'm coming out, I'm not just gonna shrug it back, come off the pad. I actually need to push myself through it. And I think about trying to open elevator doors to try to get into the elevator or out. Either way, if you're trapped in that bitch, you do whatever it takes to get out of it. You wouldn't be trying to open it from back here. But that's what I see a lot of people doing with their rear delt, is they fall back with it. So. Right back there. Okay, keep it going. Dumbbell rack. Front raises now, so just pushing blood around. We're gonna do dumbbells with the incline bench. So just start light. Okay, so if we got the incline bench like this, or if you just wanna do them seated, or if you can do them standing, same idea is that you wanna be leaning into it forward. So as I do it, I'm going up and forward towards the mirror. I'm not going back. I'm not back here trying to lift it up from way down here. I'm actually gonna have to use my legs, use my abs, and think that my shoulders are gonna go all the way towards the mirror now and controlling the way down. So they follow a bit of an arc, up and in forward, down and out. But it's not just up and down, more of a forward, back, forward, back. Yeah, it feels good. Here's what we're gonna do for the last set. We're gonna do 10 reps with 30, 10 reps with 20, 20 reps with 10. All right, perfect form, no cheating. Oh, almost there. Okay, we got it. This burnt my shoulders out. That was awesome. Because normally I wouldn't do a drop set like that, but I figured today just to show you guys how to dig a little deeper. It's one way to do it. I just don't think you should do drop sets all the time, because now I can barely lift my arms. So, you know, we're not gonna be using a lot of weight today for presses, but again, there's just different ways to work out, different ways to get a pump. And the whole idea today is that we don't need to go heavy with presses. We don't need to focus so much on just going crazy heavy on our tendons. We just keep the pump going. So now, rear delts again, a little bit of a different variation, my favorite variation for rear delt, and I'm gonna show you why. So for this one here, most people are gonna set their rear delt cable up really high. And so what that's gonna do is I'm gonna be now trying to bring it down and across, right, down and across. From this angle, it's gonna look like, if I'm up here, I could use my lat to bring it down, right? But what if I did this? What if I brought it to my shoulder level or just below? Now my side delt has to actually lift it up the whole time as I come across, and I can really stretch that rear delt, and then I could even just keep bringing it lower. Imagine if I did this now. How is that gonna be a rear delt now? You're crazy. Well, it's gonna be rear and side delt. And if I want more tension at the top, I can walk it back a little bit. Now there's more tension here. Really try to come across, not letting my shoulders dip down now. That's where the challenge is here. I have to keep them up. So you won't be able to go as heavy, but already I can just feel my whole shoulder now having to work the whole time. There's no drop off of tension. And you're gonna see rear delts are gonna explode from this. All right, yeah, so for the last one, we're gonna do a little bit different. A little bit lighter weight here. Again, lighter weight. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna think about, instead of holding it, so I'm not using the handles here, I'm just using the cable little ball things. Instead of putting my pinky finger on it, I'm gonna put my index finger on it, and I'm gonna think almost like I'm gonna keep my index finger out the whole time as I do it and create a really big arc. Once I'm done with that full range of motion, I'm actually gonna just try to walk myself through it and do reps, almost like isometric reps. Okay, so here we go. Yep, and walk through it. As we walk back, it comes in and across. As you walk forward, you try to open through. So when you're doing this one, guys and girls, you don't want to just allow your rib cage to go up and shoulders back, or rib cage up, chest back. You want to think about using your abs, pushing yourself forward so your chest stays forward instead of falling back. And that's going to help you get more rear delts, because you're going to be able to then come across using your abs here, coming across, using my legs to again open up. Same idea with the rear delts on the chest pad. Imagine if there was a chest pad here and I'm trying to push myself through it. That's the same thing we're doing here. Okay, let's go hit some presses. Now we've fucking torched the front delt, rear delt, side delt, but we can still do presses to kind of just finish everything off. Like I said, we're just leaving it for the very end, so we don't have to go crazy heavy, but I do like this machine press here. And what I like to do with this one is actually do it reverse. So when you're doing this machine normally, you've got this back support pad, and it requires a lot of being able to use your core here as well. So a lot of people, if you can't fit into this machine, what a lot of people are gonna do is they're just gonna kind of slide down, get lower, and almost turn this into an upper pec, kind of still front delt, but it's not ideal. So if you're kind of unable to use your abs here while still being able to get into position, again, I don't want to arch here. I almost want to push myself into the pad more, and then I need to be able to get here overhead, which not everybody can do, but most people, almost everybody can fit this way. You just have to put the seat a lot lower, and then now you actually have to use your whole core. There's nothing supporting you, so I got to think now I have to use my legs, and I have to stabilize, because if I go up on this thing, and it can push me back now. So I'm up, and I'm thinking, I'm coming through the thing. I'm pushing this thing over the top. I'm not letting it push me back. If I get caught back here, I'm done. So I gotta stay up and under it. And from here, I'm thinking, this is as far out as my elbows are gonna go. I could let them come way down here, but this isn't gonna feel very good on my shoulder. So this is about as wide as I'm gonna get, and then I'm up and in. So weight at the bottom of this machine is gonna make it harder as I lock out towards the top. Generally, if you're using this machine, you wanna just load the middle. You could load also the top. You could load also the bottom. Most of the resistance is gonna be in the middle, so try to build out the middle first, then add to the top, and the bottom is gonna impact you the least. So worry about this peg only at the very last. Okay, yep, easy. Yeah. Oh. 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 Oh, okay. Yeah, so failure, you can't even lock it out because it gets heavier as you lock out, so that feels really good. And maybe do one more set, call it a day, basically. That should be good for that workout. Still gotta do a little bit of posing though, so stay tuned for that. New Jed North guys, check it out. Red paisley, look like a boss. We got sweatpants as well, super comfortable. Check it out guys, use code STRONG, save some money to look strong, to look jacked. I mean, look at that guys. Just makes it look bigger. 310.4. Yeah, oh, it's good. Yeah, I needed that shoulder pump, that's for sure. Brought those shoulders right back to life. But yeah, so right now with, I'm just admiring myself in the mirror. Shoulders look really, really good today. And that's what I'm talking about, guys. I mean, ideally, you can see your rear delt from the front. And then I'll show you one trick for your most muscular is don't just squeeze your shoulders back and in. You actually want to be able to actually push your shoulders in and pull them out at the same time. So if I'm just flexing in, I won't get as much of my tricep. If I flex out at the same time, like I'm pushing my hands apart and pulling them apart, pushing and pulling at the same time to really pump up the shoulders and the triceps. See how that makes a difference? Like I'm just continuously, like it looks like this, I'm just not moving, I'm pumping and pulling, pump and pull, and that's the same thing I do on stage to keep that most muscle look really full. So right now, guys, the plan for the prep, stay as big as possible. We're 310 pounds in the evening, but I'm waking up, around 297, 299 in the morning fasted, which is the biggest I've ever been at this point in prep. I'm also relatively lean. I mean, this is just the normal kind of water weight that I would have at this point in prep anyways, but to be like 15 pounds heavier is really cool. I'm also really enjoying the way my body looks at this point in prep, which is not usual. Usually I don't start liking the way I look until a lot closer to the show. So that's a good thing. We'll bang out some poses right now, show you guys what I'm looking like. And yeah, that was the shoulder day for today. Hope you guys enjoy those tips. Appreciate you guys so much for following along. Make sure you subscribe. Drop me comments below. I actually really appreciate all you guys who drop me the comments below. Really means a lot to me. And don't forget, guys, healthy people build more muscle.